Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm AJ O'Neill, and I'm live at work. And now I'm actually going to do what I said I was going to do this morning, which was about consolidating some stuff, some authentication flows. So that's what we're going to do. Before I get started, so I got this thing I'm doing at the beginning of each session now, who to follow, and my who to follow for today, because it's going to be an all day thing. Wait a minute, JavaScript Jabber. There we go. JavaScript Jabber. That's my pick for my who to follow. Because this is where I've learned a lot from top experts in the industry and argued a lot with top experts in the industry. But anyway, it's part of what has kept me up to date, really, I guess. I don't like to stay up to date because there's way too much to be up to date on. But it's been useful for me. Anyway. So that said, and I am also a panelist on it. So in probably over half the episodes, I butt in with some snarky comment or something or other. And then, of course, we want to acknowledge our sponsor, but not really our sponsor, Mountain Dew. Pop top friends, it's time to open focus. Very good. And one last thing before we dive in here, something that made me very sad. So I posted about ULIDs. So let me bring up this tweet. This is something I will put in the chat there at Beyond Code. That's an underscore in front. If I go down here, so this, because this has come up a couple of times now, ULIDs versus UUIDs versus auto increment. Increment. There we go. So I'm going to paste that in there. I shared this on a channel and somebody responded, I don't know if I want to be an early adopter. This makes me sad. Okay, that was maybe a little over dramatized. I try not to behave too strangely because I'm in front of a camera, but sometimes, it happens. Anyway, that was a little over dramatized. But the thing is, UUIDs is literally random bytes. So you take 16 random bytes, you insert a hyphen after the first 8, the next 4, and then the next 4 before the last 12. So 8, 4, that's 12. These are assuming hexadecimal UUIDs. Then you've got that hyphen in there. And so you've represented 12 bytes. No, sorry, you've represented 6 bytes at the front, 6 bytes at the end. So that gives you up to 12 bytes. And then there's 4 bytes in the middle, brings you to 16 bytes. However, you're minus 1 byte because the random designator is always the number 4, and it is in the second set of 4. So 8, 4, 4. This 4 begins with the number 4. And then the next 4 begins with either 8, 9, A, or B. And I don't remember exactly how that comes to be, but there's a bit shift. And so it will always be 8, 9, A, or B. So it's not exactly rocket science. It's not exactly, have we really tested the security on different ways of encoding random bytes? Maybe it'll get hacked easier if I encode it as base 64. Now, I don't mean, if that person ends up watching, which I doubt they will, but if that person ends up watching, I'm not really trying to make a personal attack or anything. This is just one of those things well, I don't know. Maybe it is a little bit personal because I don't know. Okay, here it is. A lot of people don't know what UUIDs are. Okay, they don't know that it's literally just a hex encoding of random bits with a designator for certain bits must be flipped to designate this is a random identifier. But anyway, it's just one of those things that, I don't know. It's just sad to me. It's just sad. It's just sad that someone would think that it could be potentially dangerous to encode random bytes in a different way. Because it's just I don't know how to explain it. So I'll move on. Now, Let's move this window out of the way. That's caused me enough trouble for today. Sunk so much time into that. I don't want to talk about it. All right, so now we're going to go do something a little bit more valuable. I'm going to do what I put in the description. So I left the description pretty much the same this time. And that description is blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to, give me just 1 second here. I need to go find the wudgemajig. Okay, here we are with some wudgemajig. And let me go to... All right, so I do have to make, this is a tiny, tiny, tiny change to some email templates. So heaven forbid that this should take long. But I'm going to go into the mailer templates, and I think there are 4 templates that I just need to make sure that they follow the same pattern. So we're going to have the verification email is going to come first. So we have base URL /verify, and here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring around... Let's see. We're going to do code first and ID next. Or maybe we do ID first. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that we're going to take the template. Yes, this one right here. We're going to take the template and we're going to make that part of the URL. So basically this is verify /forgot password / whatever, whatever, whatever. So we're going to take the template. We're going to put that as part of the URL. And then I think there was something else that I wanted to do here. This is href equals verify email. Okay, so, and then there should be another one. We should have another one that's, you can copy and paste this URL. That should exist. So type equals, oh, so this is going to be email equals whatever. Yeah, sure. And we're going to hide that one away. And so I want to have, I guess it'd be a text with the opportunity to say copy and paste. And where should that be? Probably in its own section. You can also copy and paste this link is what I want to say. So you can also copy and paste this link. Copy this link and paste it into your browser. Copy this link and paste it into your browser. Yeah. So I don't know why I have this. Oh, that was just there left over. So let's do that. Let's do that. And then here we can have the href mabob. And then this will just be we're going to do a href equals all that nonsense. And then we're going to take most of the nonsense and just paste it right back on in here, like so. By the way, I learned something useful from somebody that dropped a comment the other day, which is that in Vim, so I've been using Vim for 10 or 15 years or something like that, and I still don't really know how to use it. I mean, I don't try. I'm not invested in it. It's a tool, and it's a very convenient tool, and it's easy to use. It only takes about 5 minutes to learn. People complain about it, but that's because literally you have to take 5 minutes to learn it. It's true. You do. Just like a programming language, it's not going to jump out at the screen and force you to understand it. Yes, you do have to. But the bad thing about Vim is that most people, well, the people that are prolific about Vim, they want to teach you everything about Vim. And really, I only know 10 or 20 things that you can do. And that's how my head's able to not explode. But anyway, GJ and GK will let you go up by one visual line, whereas just J and K will go up and down by a full text line. And I find that to be quite handy, so I've added that to my 10 to 20 things. It's put me a little over the top, but it's useful enough that I can bear it. Okay, well, with that done, I just need to go make the same change in a couple other places. So verification email is one, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy this whole section because I'm probably going to take this section verbatim. And I could make a partial out of it. I don't know if it's worth it. if it was in, it's going to be in about 4 templates, which was really on the threshold. If it's going to be in 5 templates, I probably should make a partial out of it. With it being in 4, maybe I should, but I'm really not going to. Oh, look, here it is. You can also copy and paste this link. Wait, did I just open the same one? No, I didn't. Did I really type the exact same text? I think I did. You can also copy and paste this link into your browser. You can also copy this link and paste it into your browser. Huh. I don't know if that was me or if that was somebody else, but I mean, I guess there's only so many variations on that. It's not the most complex sentence in the whole world or anything. But I think that will do it. There we are. And then I need to update the link elsewhere. So right up here, I need to update the link. There we are. Just a slight modification of the link. And I do want to update the text in here, but we'll do that a different day. Because I want to, so I wordsmithed those errors. Gosh darn it, I did. That was so, I don't know. But now there's good errors for the rare case where somebody sees it. Oh, also, sorry, let me bring my comments back up here. Hello, I'm AJ. I'd love to know who you are and what brings you to the channel today. Feel free to converse. I'll try not to get too much off topic, but because I do have work to do, but I like to have a little bit of side chatter and whatnot as I go. So the next one, so I updated that template, and then we're going to go update the logic for each of these things. That's the next bit we'll do. Imperial we, all of us over here. Well, we'll do it together. We will. Let's see, existing user to account. Is this one of the ones? I've got the list in front of me here. New user to account and email change, password reset. Okay, let's go do that. I'm going to do, was it new user? New user to account. Yeah. All right. You can access your account at account name. You've been granted access. Oh, there was something that I wanted to do here, but I don't quite remember what it was. Let me see. Did I have lib mailer? I promise I'm not going to go on a tangent this time. Okay, I'm just going to make note that I want to be able to do this. And then I have to do like this, for example. I know that seems strange, but it's because in instances such as this, I want it to do the nesting better. So if I could do that, let's see. Oh, now I remember why I wanted double of these. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I remember why I wanted double of these, because I wanted to be able to open and close them as tags. Okay, never mind. That's not important. I'm going to move on. I was just thinking, because it'd be nice if in the editor they would nest in the same way that HTML nests. That would be nice for me. I'd appreciate that if we could do that. Wait, what is going on? I hate it when it does that. Okay. So you've been granted access. This is all the if the user something something. This seems, is this existing user? This is new user? This doesn't seem right. New user to account. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's the email and temporary password. So we're going to get rid of that. And what we're going to do instead is, whoops, let me go back. Back to here. Okay, so what we're going to do instead is we're going to have the same kind of thing where there's the button here. So we've got the button, reset your password. You can also copy and paste this. Thanks, blah, 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 yada, yada. Okay, so we're going to go in here and, whoop, dang it, not that one. We're going to go, instead of say, hey, here's your temporary password, we're going to say, you know, the something, something, this link will expire, something, something, something. Do I want to close that out? Is a column a section? Yeah, I just want to close that out, I suppose. Let me close this out. So, I don't know what I'm going to call this. It's going to create an account, but I don't want to say create account because that might, let's see, access. Maybe we just want to say access here because that might sound like they got to do work, but really all they got to do is click the link. And then I guess they're going to be asked to set a password, maybe. Let's see here. Okay, you can also copy this link and paste it in your browser. And then I guess what I need is, again, we're going to end these wajmadoos. I guess I'll just end the text wajmadoo. Thumbs up if you like how I just make random noises for names of things. You know. All right. You can access your account at... Yeah. And then we got this table. Let's just get rid of it. Tables are for nerds. You heard me. Okay. Okay, I think you can access your account. And then I also want to put in the notice that, hey, this is going to expire after so much time. So the verification email, we have what? You can copy and paste this link in your browser. This code will expire in. So I'll do the same thing for these other things. So what do we have? Reset password. Thanks for using. If you do not request, blah, blah, blah. If you have messes, something, something, something. And then just put this in here. This link. Let's see. This code and link will expire in blah, blah, blah. If you did not submit request, please return this email. Actually, I kind of do want... It almost seems that I should turn this into a partial just because of the way that I'm interacting with it right now, or I'm saying, oh, you know, I probably want to add this to a couple of different places. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's worth it yet. All right. If you did not submit this request, please ignore this message. If you did not... Here we go. If you did not request a password reset, please ignore this message. I think that's actually better wording, so it makes sense. They're similar, but they're not the same. And then we can get rid of all this. And then move that there and move this here, and maybe that'll be okay. We'll have to see. But yeah, thanks for using... Okay, if you did not submit this request, what is this actually though? This one is verify your email. Yeah, so I think I put this here. if you did not request a savvy, whoops, this would be a company short name, no? All right, fine, we'll do it this way. I'm just going to rename this one. If you did not request a account, or I guess it did not create. If you did not create a, ooh, that's going to be weird because that maybe sometimes should be an account on, there we go. And then this will be short name. So we are considering doing white label / hosted stuff. So this is not in vain to have these template variables here. Okay, if you did not create an account on whatever. Oh, I'm going to take this call. This may be an important call. So give me a second here. It was fam. Fam bam. Okay, and I'm back. All right, so I'm going to this code and link will expire, yada yada. Bless me, bless me, bless me. Okay, if you did not create an account. Oh, whoops, this should say, please ignore this message. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us. This code and link will expire in so much time. Okay. A little copying is better than a little dependency. If you did not request a password reset, please ignore this email. If you have this code and link, yada yada. Okay, and then let's do the new user. That means the same thing. Where I have to take a look. I don't remember exactly how these things render, but obviously you change them up a little bit and they render a little differently. Just more white space. When you put in new sections, you get a little more white space. Sometimes that's nice, sometimes it's not. Okay, this one, if you, let's see, if you believe this invite was sent in error, please ignore this message. And I don't want to say please twice. So if any questions or concerns, reach out to us at. Let me go take a look at the other one again. Is this saying please twice? Yeah. Okay. So reset and then verification. Do we need to do that too? Do not come. Please ignore this message. If you, yeah, reach out to us at. There we go. And then I think there's one more template that we need to update to follow this general format here. And I'm going to go ahead and copy. I'm going to copy from, I guess, the one I just did, the new user to account. Let's just copy from that one. Well, let me see what it's most similar to. Okay, next one is, so change email. Which that one, well, we're gonna stick with it for now, but I don't want a change email. I want to add email, you know. Let's see, what do we got for email? Email change. Okay. This code will expire. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this whole thing and put it out there. But then, okay, with the new account one, did I put in the button? Yeah, I did. I put in the access this account. You can also copy and paste this link. So let's take that same thing and bring it over here, and then we'll have to workshop what we want it to look like later. But so this would be verify email. If you believe this invite was sent in error, code link will expire, blah, blah, blah. So the difference here was that we actually put these two in different sections. The verify email goes here, and then you can also copy and paste this link into your browser. Wait. Let's see. Yeah, so let's take this one. If you did not create an account, we'll just modify that one slightly. Okay, if you did not, if you did not Do not have an account on blank. Please ignore this message. If you have questions or concerns, reach out to us. There we go. Cool beans, cool beans. So I think that's all going to be good. Oh, do we have more links here? Ver to template. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to search through for verification template. By the way, all the stuff, this is down in the doobly-doo, by the way, but all the stuff that I use, all the commands, it's all on webinstall.dev. So if you go to webinstall.dev, then you will find all of it. Okay, so we've got verification email, reset password, new user to account, email change code. Those are all the places where that's being used. And let's see, what have we got here? I don't know. I'm going to get stash real quick. I'm going to check out master. I'm going to get pull on master to make sure that I'm up to the latest. I'm going to get checkout auth next. I'm going to get rebase master. And then I'm going to get diff master. Do we even have anything different here? Okay, so we got some verification code stuff. And that's basically it. So nothing that interesting here. And git stash. And this should be, if I'm not mistaken, we should be able to merge this into master, rebase this into master rather. I don't ever use merge except for if I'm doing between projects, then I'll use merge. Say I have a template repo and it's got some stuff in it. I'm going to bring it over to another repo, but I don't use merge when Repos will do. And I'd recommend the same to everybody else. Don't use merge. Merge is for people that are stuck in the 2000s. I don't know why the default on GitHub hasn't been changed to rebase, because that's generally what you want to do, because, you know, it avoids merge conflicts. And you don't lose all that information. Anyway, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this only gives more information. There's no downside to this. Why did I not already merge this in? Nullable, default now, nullable. I guess because I'm still going to be doing some work on this, but it should be good. Git stash pop. Oh, also, you know what? I totally forgot. I'm probably using key fetch over here, aren't I? Yes, I am. So let's go ahead and key fetch at latest. I probably wasn't using key fetch over there, so that probably didn't make a difference. Let me take a look at this log. See all this merging. Why? Let me check and see what. Particularly, what if we do git diff and then look at package.json? Was that even in there before? Yeah, it was. Okay. But am I even using it anywhere? Let's look if I'm using it anywhere. Source lib auth. Key fetch is just used to authenticate the WebSockets. How so? Huh. All right, well, this will have to get updated, and then it'll have to get pushed upstream, and yada, yada, yada. I really need to, with the Auth 3000 project, which I'm now using in a couple of different places, I really need to just get it to 1.0 and publish it. I don't quite know why I haven't, but then that's part of the problem, isn't it? All right, so git reset dot, git status, git checkout these, npm install. And then what do I need to do here? Key fetch is probably only 2 or 3 files. It's in, yeah, it's in this file. It's in this file. Bum 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 bum. Okay. Key fetch. Bump. Okay. All right. Anyway, that should all be good. And I should just go ahead and republish this one. And let's see, what can we do here? Feature, update key fetch for latest for new error messages. Not massages, messages. Nuance difference. All right, get tag. What are we at? 4 here. All right. Okay. Git push tags publish yada 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 yada. And then let me see what my OTP is. There we go. Okay. Well, that's updated. And then I should go ahead and update that over here. Install auth 3000 at latest. Well, hold on. Git reset package star, git checkout package star, git stash, git checkout master. No, I do want to do that here. Okay, so I don't want to have 2 versions of v2 here. Git stash pop. So I also want to install the latest version of keyfetch itself. And auth 3000. So I'm going to say add package. We're going to commit. This is going to be feature update to latest auth 3000 and key fetch error messages. Oh, I'm in bash? Why in the silliness would I have done that? Okay, there we go. And then, wait, why did render change? So what I'm doing, nope, I don't want to see all that. Just what changed in render? Oh, I just put a comment there. That's nothing. Okay, so all these templates updated, but the problem now is that I updated the templates. Now I need to go make sure that where they're used all follows the same pattern. Now, verification email is going to follow the same pattern. That's only used in a couple of places. Well, should only be one place, really. So we've got utils, render email template. That's just utils is where I put test utilities and stuff. I don't need the message.back.json, json.back. I don't think I need that. We can get rid of that. Let's see, what have we got here that's just sticking around for nothing? We got renders. Okay, so I got mailer, has that in there as an example, and then auth. Auth has these three things in here, but so auth should be just fine. And that all three of these are allowed. I guess the fourth one needs to be allowed as well. So we're going to send an invite through the verification request, which I think is just fine. Because, yeah, if somebody's being invited to the platform through the email, we're going to have the code last for a certain amount of time. And I've already got the code updates in the verification code. Now the expiration can be set. And indeed, I think it is set if we look in index.js. No, not in index.js. Let me see. API routes index. Maybe it's source lib auth. Maybe that's where it's landed. Ah, there it is. So what is this? Impersonate only lasts for 15 minutes. That makes sense. What about the verification dilios? Let me go back to routes index, email. Okay, wait, where were we just at where it had verification email? Lib, source lib auth, verification email. There we go. So this, when we create and notify. All right, so the code was already created here. All right, so sorry, I'm going on a little bit of a goose chase. Notify, no, not there. Source index, notify. Where is the daggone notify function? Auth. Auth WebSockets authenticate. Auth login. Auth challenge. Where's notify? Oh, that's in source lib auth. Challenge has the all right, max age 24 hours. So max attempts 5. All right, that's what it is. Okay. So I should probably make that an environment variable so that, or we could maybe even have different types. Yeah. I think I'm going to want to be able to have this different for different scenarios. So I may have to think about that a little bit. To do, we want different ages for different use cases, different max ages. And I think we do. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to see what that max age was at, which is it's at 24 hours, 5 attempts. There's some things that we might want to have more time or less time. For example, an invite for somebody, I think we might want to have it be 48 hours or 72 hours. Maybe they get sent an invitation on Friday and they want to respond to it on Monday. So I'm going to give an example here. Example, 72-hour invite link. And maybe that should be something different. Okay, why is everything complaining here? Oh, npm base tag link. There we go. npx base tag link. I wish npm wouldn't delete that. Speaking of which, there's something that I need to try. I'm going to try it real quick. So what I want to see is if I update base tag, let's see, node modules. Let's see. I'm going to back things up real quick, just in case. So if I run an npm install, that's running a lot longer than I thought it would. Quite a bit longer than I thought it would. I'm wondering if it's going to delete stuff. So this is a lie. Math.random is not problematic in any modern JavaScript engine. Okay. Node modules. Doesn't look like anything bad happened. It did put in this weird dot directory. Huh. Appears to be fine. Oops, let's list that again. Okay, well, something is weird about it. It does behave slightly differently than usual. The question is, with base tag, the $sign I don't think is a really great symbol. And so the question is, well, what could we use instead? And I think what we maybe landed on was underscore. Which I think is just fine. The reason $sign is not good is because in Bash $sign is the prefix for variables. Okay, where was I at now? If you don't create an account. Okay, I got a little sidetracked there. What was I looking in before I was doing this? I was looking in here. I went to auth challenge, and I was looking in here because I wanted to see, okay, verification email. How is that done? So we get the template, and I was supposed to do, okay, new user to account. That's the thing that I got to watch out for. Where are we using that at? Here in account, new user to account. So I want to take some of this logic, I think, and turn it into the way that we invite a user. Just thinking to myself here, what's a good way to extract and wrap this? Because essentially what's happening is I want to expose functionality that is in auth 3000. So let me see where auth 3000 is calling notify. Lib session, lib magic link. Lib magic link. Okay, I don't think any of this is being exposed. Okay. Hashify. Okay, order verification, check status. Oh, by the way, do I want to change this to status? Post order. I guess it could be get order. I don't know. I think I was sticking with the order because that's the way Let's Encrypt does it. But anyway, so we're going to create this thing, this challenger, but I think I want it to be a little bit more abstract, and that I want to be able to use it more generically. So let's take a look at order verification. Okay. So we got the rec and the res, but could we move this around a touch? So what if we say, you know, we have a create, and what if we wrap this one more layer? We have a, say, create routes. And then this is where we return all the nonsense. So we could do let's c equals challenger dot create, pass it in some options. And maybe we just call it ops, pass it into ops. Sounds like my daughter yelling, but I'm not sure if it's happy yelling or upset yelling. Doesn't appear to be crying. And typically she's at the stage where if she's upset yelling, she's going to be crying. So if she's able to yell without crying, I would consider that a developmental improvement. I think she's just being loud. Okay. So let's say I want this to be async. Take rec and res. And can I just take all of this stuff away? Body type, body value. So what about rec? Rec. Okay, so we do have a user agent. So we need to grab that. And then what else do we have? I don't like the way that this would have to be wrapped. I think that this is one of those cases where copying is better than composition. Okay. But also I would like it to be usable externally. I just don't think that I've got things quite set up the right way yet. Okay. All right, so what does this really do? It just sends an email. It sets a code and it sends some email. And I definitely want to expose that functionality. Maybe I could just expose this. I just need to think, how do I signify what parts of the body I'd want, the request body, I want to be stored and set so that it gets the full request body in the notify. But is there anything else that I want to link? I think there probably are other things that I want to link. Okay, let me go back to the original code and see if I can think around this problem here. So the problem is if it's a new user, we want them to be able to open the link and get to the resource and be logged in. That's the goal. And so we're actually going to create the user. And let's see. I'm going to send out the email. Yeah, I don't know. I think I want this to be used. I guess I just want to use the function that sets the code into the store. And then call the notify function that I already have set anyway. So it's really this bit right here. Strategy is challenge. And then I would want to set, let's see, max age. Shouldn't that be put where we create the code? Check status, attempt counter, exchange challenge token is fresh. And this is the bit where we create it. Order verification. All right, audience, help me think through this. So this is the problem here is definitely square peg round hole. And so we need to not have square peg round hole. I don't want to force something into a pattern that it doesn't belong into. It definitely doesn't make sense that we should post to the login endpoint in order to have a user invited somewhere, unless it's not going to be the login endpoint. We could say it's just a general challenge response endpoint. We're trying to create a session for a user. But to try to say when you invite someone that it should be that should be creating a login for that person, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mentally fit. But all of the bits of all the steps of the process are essentially the same, except for the request handling, because when they click the link, it is a login to them. But we also need to, it is a first time login for them. So it does kind of make sense in that sense. But here's the thing. If the user already exists, then it doesn't quite make sense to run through the same process, because then it is a different email. Then it's not a login email, then it's just a notification. So we have something that either can function as a notification or it can function as a login. And that's where I'm a little, the fit is only halfway. And so I think the composition is going to be a better choice than just moving the route over. But then the question is how to do the composition. Because I need invited user, Essentially what I need is to have, all right, so to do needs the same verification code as what we get through login. That's what we need. Over here, that's not very well abstracted. So we do need, I guess, an email. And we could invite them via text message. That would be fine. So this does make a good fit from that perspective. The authn param doesn't make much sense because that part is completely skipped. The notify makes a lot of sense. So, and why does the request not make a lot of sense here? Because of the way that we're calling notify. So what we're calling notify with, we want to give them the request object, but we want to doctor the request object. So, okay, she's not, by the way, she's not screaming, she's singing. At least now, anyway. This function just isn't quite the right fit, but I don't know how I would change it to make it the right fit, I guess is the thing. Because what would we give? There's body, and there's headers, and there's IP. So it very much feels like a request object. So I guess we could say, I mean, if we wanted to, we could say this is just an object that has a body and a headers and an IP. Would that be fair to do? Why not? Wait, 45, unexpected token. What's unexpected token at 45? Oh, yeah, this whole thing. Let's just comment this out for the minute. All right, then we could just say headers go here. Let me come down. But yeah, that's a problem. So that's where yeah. I guess, I don't know. I'm just not sure what the right way to go about this is. It doesn't feel like there's a right way to go about this. I don't like it. I want there to be a right way, you know? Hum, 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 hum. So I think order verification needs a slight modification. Because if we just let it take, let's call it body. Let's say if not body, rec.body equals body. Oh, yeah, that's, I don't know. I guess we would just have to say that we expect body to have certain things on it. And those certain things are, say body is equal to type value, type value, value, type value, development sends secret verification code. Development sends secret challenge. And then we're back up to body. So that's really it. So these are the things that body consists of. Okay. And then I think we only need headers for the user agent, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go check that real quick. Headers, user agent, that's it. Yep, that's all we use the headers for. So headers is just user agent. Okay. And then the rest of it is just, I think, IP. I think that's it. Or res.socket.remote address. So maybe I could just for the sake of making this more clear, we could do this little bit. We could do let's not call it body. Let's call it let identifier equals type body.type value body.value or body.email. Let's say that. Oops. I think that's fair. Let's move these things up towards the topish. rec.body.type, rec.body.type. Body.email. Okay, and then if not identifier.type or email is identifier.type, then, and I probably want to nest that identifier in body, and that would do well. Identifier.value is identifier.value trim to lowercase. Okay. Identifier. I just need to go to the end of the function here, and anytime body is encountered, I just need to swappy do it to identifier. Okay, so yes, we're going to change this one, and 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 this one. And so I guess I could put that up here as well. I can take this identifier here, and I can do rec.body.whatchamajig. Gosh, that's annoying, but I guess that's on purpose so people don't use it. So this one is deprecated, is that what we're saying? Identifier. Deprecated. Actually, could do it this way. Yeah, I'll do it this way. Okay, so good enough. All right, and I could say let IP equal to this. This is empty. It's a developer error, not a user error. I think I meant that to go something around here. I don't know where that was meant to go. Okay. Okay. Maybe I just get rid of the notify function out of this. But I keep all this nonsense. Where's notify? I do have notify right there. I don't know. I don't have a good handle on what to change here. I wish I was an outsider just looking at this from not being familiar with the code. It's a lot easier often. Okay, I don't know what this number is. I'm gonna check it real quick. It's probably not important. Indeed, it was a spam call. Robodial. Oh. All right. The missing pieces I need to get are just the verification pieces. So I think I need a function that takes a request object and generates the stuff that I would want. That's really all I need. So let's just focus on that. So let's say we're going to have a create verification code. And it probably doesn't need to be async, but I'll leave the async there for the moment, just as I explore this. It's going to need to take a rec. It's not going to need a res. Oh, actually, it might need a res, because res.socket.remote address is meaningful. Do we get rec.socket.remote address as well? I don't remember. I think it's called something different on rec. I think it's called maybe rec. I don't know. Anyway, so create verification code. It's feels a little weird to put res in there. Maybe we could have ops, and ops could have the dev thing. Let's say, we just move all this into here. Its job is really just to give us back the claims. Okay, that seems to be in the wrong place. I think that's fair. Okay, we don't know what's supposed to go here. Yeah, res means response. Hey, Thelarn, how's it going? So I think maybe I just return, I don't know. What do I return here? Challenge ID. Where do claims go? Object.assign claims. Type value. So I think it would be okay to say we're going to generate this object elsewhere. It's not really verification code, but let's call it verification info, let's say. So I want to let verification info equals create verification code rec res, and then let's say there's empty ops. And then let's just say we had this return. But are the claims used anywhere else? Claims. It's only used there and there. So this doesn't even need its own. I must have used this for something else previously. Because literally, there's nothing to do here except for return this. Literally. That makes no difference. Code receipt ID. So we could take the date from here and we could place it here. And then we could take, maybe this should be called challenge. Verification info dot challenge ID. Right. And then I just get rid of the async on this because this is not actually async at all. Okay. Just catching the stream now. All right. Well, I'll give you a brief update. on what's going on, kind of, sort of. Let me think about this. Let's see, we want d.value of, where was d.value of here? Expiration. I think I do want to put the expires at in there. So I've got a square peg round hole kind of problem, which is that I have this authentication code and I'm trying to streamline it, and most of it is a really clean fit. It's just hit the same route and do the same thing. But there's a little part, an invite, where I don't want to duplicate the code. I'd rather reuse the code, but the way to reuse the code is not quite clear. So when we're doing a change password, verify email address, verify new account, all of this has the same bits to it, the steps. When we're doing an invite, one user invites another user, the link they send is going to do the same bits as well. We want to have the same security principles apply to all types of email and phone number verification, whether it's for an account, a forgot password, whatever. But in the case of inviting the user, it doesn't make sense to just logically, just thinking about it, it doesn't make sense to make a post to the login request endpoint to invite a new user. So I'm going to make a login request on behalf of someone else. Doesn't quite make sense. So it makes sense that that's a different endpoint, but then all the steps are the same in terms of when the email gets fired. But the email can go one of two ways. The email can go one way is just a notification saying, hey, guess what? You are invited. But the email can also say, hey, guess what? You got a new account. Well, in either way, it's going to say you're invited. But in one, it's going to say you were added to this. And the other one is going to say, click this link to access this thing. I guess either way, it should say, click the link to access this thing. But the point being that one, the user already exists, already has an account. The other one, we want to go ahead and use our verify email mechanism when the user clicks the link. But one thing that we do know that's different, which means might be a good reason for taking a different strategy, is that the user is not going to need to enter in a code at any time. Whereas these other verifications, the user either has to enter in a code or click a link. And this one, their only option is to click a link because they're not the one that initiated the action. So that's kind of points to, well, maybe we should just have a separate mechanism for verifying the email address of users that are invited to something. So, yeah. But I kind of want it to be the magic link login experience, essentially. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I'm just trying to figure out how do I create this object in a sensible way. Okay, where's max age? Expiration. Let's see, let max age equal max age or we'll do ops.max age. Because this one we're going to want to let it live a little bit longer anyway. So let's say expiration. We could put here expires at expiration dot to ISO string. And then we could also have in here max age. I don't know, expiry. I don't know if I want to, I don't know what I want to do with that. but I've been calling it expiry somewhere else. So So we're going to decide how long this code should last right there. What am I going to call this? Challenge. That's what I want to call it. I want to call it challenge. Let's call it, let's not call it create verification code. Let's call it create challenge. And I really want it to be generate instead of create, because to me that's a little bit more clear that you're not creating it in the database. You're just generating it in memory. Because the process is you're going to create the challenge and then c.type, c.value, I don't think we call it UA, I think we call it user agent. Ordered at, we call it ordered by, is what we call it. Okay, so not user agent, but ordered by c.code. We don't need c.secret anymore, I don't think. I think we're done with that one. Okay, ID is going to be c.challenge ID maybe. Issuer, I guess, do we need that here? I don't think we need that here because it only can be, well, I guess it could be, let's see, issuer, technically speaking, issuer could be, it could be multi-tenanted. So sure, let's go ahead and throw it in there. Let me check comments here. Ladder is what I've seen. Click the link to access, and that sets off the new user flow. Oh yeah, magic link would be very cool UX-wise. Yeah, well, it's not about the UX at this point. It's about the where in the API does it fit? Because I've generated this magic link process with the idea that it's going to be used for user login. And now I'm saying, the magic link process I want to use for other types of challenges. I don't want to only use it for login. I also want to use it for invite a user to an account. So that's what I'm trying to work through right now. Except that let's see. Request. I guess what we want here is at param, really. Rec. Response. Res. And at param. I'm just going to put any in here for now. That's probably not quite fair to do. Okay. Okay, I'm going to update this as well. So here's what this is going to be. This is going to be let challenge equals. Do we have any more uppercase challenge around here? couple of places, but not as a variable, right? Challenger, not challenge itself. Okay. Okay, so I can do this. So we're going to have challenge, and then it's going to be challenge dot gen and then challenge dot set. And I suppose there'll be a challenge.get, but I don't know. Challenge.gen. Okay, so there's the challenge, and it has all the bits on it. The issuer on there. I'm going to put max age on there. And then we're going to call notify. And then what about all this? C dot expires at. And then what about the receipt? Where did the receipt go? Do we have receipt on here somewhere? Receipt. Okay. What is this object all about? So result that goes back is all of this. So we don't store the receipt because the receipt is a byproduct of the code, right? Make sure that's not async. Bum, bum, bum. I see somebody else joined in as well. Hello, welcome. I'm AJ. Love to know who you are and what brings you to the channel today. This session is me stumbling through how to streamline some authentication so that we don't have. So the expression I use is you want gatekeepers at the gate, doorkeepers at the door. So wherever you can have a gatekeeper, you want a gatekeeper. Okay, so I want to mark the things that weren't originally here. That wasn't originally here. This wasn't originally here. This wasn't originally here. But anyway, so you don't want multiple different paths. You want to have directed graphs as much as possible, graphs, and you want to have single points of access. So you don't want 10 different ways that a user could possibly be authenticated. You want to have one way that a user can be authenticated. Or that's not to say multi-factor authentication doesn't apply, but in terms of the gate by which a person enters, you want the gatekeeper that checks for authentication to be in as few places as possible so that you don't end up with backdoors where there's a gatekeeper here, but there's no gatekeeper here. Or this gatekeeper is really smart, but this gatekeeper is really dumb. And so that's what I'm working on, is consolidation of users can be logged in by resetting their password, by creating a new account, by being invited to an account. And there's also some places that deserve a challenge response mechanism. For example, when a user wants to add a new email address to their account. So all of these things function as challenge response mechanisms for identity. Inviting a user to an account when they click the link to go in can serve as a challenge response mechanism. And so before we had 4 different ways that this was done. And now I'm bringing that all into one, but the invite user in particular is very troublesome to try to fit into this model. And so I'm just playing around trying to find a way that it fits and doesn't feel too forced. And I'm just having a little bit of trouble with that because it does feel a little forced. So that was there, that was there, that was there, that was there. All of these things were there. Okay. Okay, so that's why we have this notify. So I could see where we might have a challenge.notify, where you might want to put in a challenge. Let's do this here. Let's say we have a challenge.notify, except we don't need res on that. I almost want to move ops to the front of each of these just so that it's clear that it's not a middleware. So that it has a completely different function that could never match. I might do that. All right, so then we can move all of this here. And that makes sense. Oh, so we would want rec. I'm going to flippy do that around a little bit. Whatever. Okay, does this even need ops? I don't think it does. I don't think that would make any particular benefit here. So we got the notify. It's going to call this. It's going to call notify, and then it's going to be done with it. All right. So this would be, yeah, I'm just going to leave that in any for now, just so I can get through this. Okay, challenge notify should be C and then rec. Okay. And I kind of think this belongs in the notify section. Let's see. I guess ops would go here. Because really, that could be ops. Okay. Ah, yeah, I see. I see what's going on here. Let me move that back. Well, I don't know. Let's see. So maybe I could put result here. I don't know. Does this make sense to put here or not? So we're going to set this thing. We're going to do this notify bit. Whoops. I saw a comment just came in. I'll take a look in just a second at that. Okay. And then I'm coming up with what I want the result to be, which could get logged out to the console, potentially. C.code. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, gosh. Line 193. Who knows what that is now? I think that's the new line 174. So the reason for this is that this modification to the request object is part of what auth 3000 does. So any of the handlers for auth 3000 will have a rec.authin, or you can customize that if you don't want it to be called .authin. And it will have a similar structure to it. But because the way that this function is called, it could go on to something else afterwards, I just want to remove it from there. So I set it, I call the function that's going to expect that object to be there, and then it may be handled by another function that doesn't expect it to be there, so I just set it to null. Let me see what else. Do we have any other comments or questions here? Okay. All right. So let me see what happened to all those woojamadoos. I don't think that this is the right place for this anymore. As far as these things go, because I don't think there was any woojamado here. Okay. So in the notify, part of the notify is it may log it out to the console. No, that's not really part of the notify. Okay, so that means that none of this goes there. That's fine. There we are. So notify, does notify need ops? I don't think it does. I'm going to nix that because I really do think this is totally up to the responsibility of whatever is replying, which is not this. Okay. Okay. And I'll just update this wajimadu to go here. Didn't like that very much. Let's try this. Okay. Now that got rid of that complaint. Let's see. That one kind of makes sense to be there. I don't know that this one needs to be there. I think we could get rid of that. Okay, that makes sense. Whoops. Okay. There we go. So maybe this should actually read this way. If this thing and this thing, or this thing. That did not work. Let me undo that a little bit. Okay, that's not the appropriate way to pass the ops then, is it? Okay. So this could simply be like that. And this could be like that. Dang it. Oh. That's not going to work. Let's see, dev send secret. Get rid of that a little bit. And then we would just have dev send secret. And that cannot be ops. Okay, where's the equals false bit? So let's do this. Let's say if the deprecated one, then set the undeprecated one. There we go, that makes sense. So now I don't have to deal with that in multiple places. I hope, maybe, kind of, sort of. And then I can just do this. Let's call it that, dev send code. Dev send code. Or I don't know if I quite got that right. Looks maybe a parentheses in the wrong place here. I'm going to back the truck up on this one for just a second. Git stash. Let's go look at that link again. Okay. So if this or that and that. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be like that. No, that doesn't make sense. Okay, localhost includes so if it's on localhost, then you don't need to set all the funny options. Maybe. Okay, git stash pop. I think that was supposed to be res.socket. Okay. I'm making some progress, maybe. So if it's development and it's localhost, it's making the request. or it's got all the development stuff set, then do that, and then return the result. Okay. And I think this is a little too annoying. I think I ought to make that a little less annoying. I meant to make it annoying so that it would be an option that you'd have to set on purpose and you'd notice it because it'd stand out like a sore thumb. But in the process of doing that, I also made it complex. And that's not good, because we don't want things that have to deal with security to be difficult to read or understand. So I think one thing I could do is I could just get rid of the stuff that's deprecated. Deprecated. Let's just get rid of that. Gone. Okay, good. Huh? Let's see. I'm going to do is it this way? There we go. Maybe it was this way. Maybe it was this way. Oh, gosh. Oh, there we go. Like that. There's too many ways of doing this. There we go. Now I got my type string correct. Let's see, is that going to work too? No. Does this work? No. Does this work? It's got to be like that, I suppose. Okay. All right. That looks a little bit better. Interesting. Much easier to read with underscores. So let's use those instead. Remember, no one ever lost their job over making something easy to read. Maybe unless it was a password on a sticky note on the monitor. But those people don't get fired, they get promoted. Okay. All right, let me go back and look up here and see if there's anything I didn't really want to have saved. The receipt doesn't really matter. I don't think we need to save the code. Let's see what this, let me see if I remember what this does here. Yeah. We don't really need to save the code because if we want to check the code, we can just check the hash of the code. Yep, okay, that's good. So we don't need to save the code. And then we want to, when we want to do the verify, what do we do? Pair is fresh, codes match. Yeah, I don't need this codes match like that. I can just hashify the code. Where's my hashify? Trusted, untrusted. So what are we going to do here? Hashify needs what? Okay. It seems much more complicated than it is. see. Let's say untrusted code, and then we'll untrusted, I'll just call this R U let A equals receipt. There we go. Receipt. And the HMAC secret needs to go in here somehow. Where's my hashify? All right, that's getting a little long. Maybe we could call it user code instead of untrusted code. Okay. Meta.receipt and code. I think this should be sufficient. That seems a little complicated. I don't like that, but I'm going to go with it for the moment. Receipt byte count, receipt encoding. There we go. Oh no, Recepit. How did that happen? Okay, I keep on misspelling receipt, Recepit. I guess what this is telling me is that I should store the byte count and the encoding with this thing. See, I'm going to have the receipt there. So this has challenge receipt and challenge ID. I think something's going wrong here, though. Because when I set it, it should have... What was I setting before the result? Am I using the receipt in some other way? Okay, I'm going to stash this again and just check and see. Okay, result had the receipt. What was it doing in the store? Where's store.set? I don't see. So claims here. Where are the claims at? Claims, challenge, type, value. All right. And then code, secret, huh. Maybe I'm better off leaving it the way that it was and just storing the code in the database. There's very few places where receipt is mentioned. Body receipt. And this was a number, if I remember correctly. That's actually byte count. And this is string encoding. I actually like this a little bit more. So why do we want it to have challenge ID? What was that all about? Challenge ID. Challenge ID. I don't think it was used anywhere else. So I don't know why that was there. Receipt. Challenge ID. Do I have that anywhere in here? I don't think so. Do I have that anywhere in here? I don't think so. Is it in the database? Verification code. Huh. Well, it's not in there. I'm going to go check on the other environment. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I didn't mean to close that window out. All right, I'm taking a look to see what's in here. What the things look like. I do see code in there. I don't think I see, oh, I do see challenge ID. But it doesn't much matter because it's already saved in the database. So it's redundant to have it in there twice. Okay, I'm going to not worry about that. Well, just to not break backwards compatibility, maybe I should leave it in there because it was... No, it shouldn't matter. I'm going to go check on how we're handling that. I think this is in libauth. We have a store, right? Verification, which is where? Source lib verification. Set ID, ID JSON created at. And then we get yep. Now the one thing that I do gotta wonder about though is the number of bytes. How long can we insert on conflict merge? Okay, cool. I'm down with that. So if perchance two IDs are the same, it'll just overwrite the one with the other, and that'll take so long to happen that honestly I'm fine with it. Famous last words. Okay. Okay. All right. It's all good by me. So I think that's about right. Create, set, notify. Let's see. I guess there should be a wrapper around the get. Which is going to be basically nothing. But that's okay. Okay. But now I have to expose this somehow. All right, where is this coming from? Ought to be something I ask. What uses magiclink.js? Just lib session, right? So I could just rename this to create routes. I've been wanting to rename that from magiclink to challenge anyway, so I think I might just go ahead and do that. I want to say, instead of create routes, let's call it create router. Create router. So let's say we have another one. That we have ops that we can use to create it, and then we can return challenge. So this is more of a create factory type of deal, but that's okay actually. Maybe. All right, let challenge equals challenger.create. This is starting to get a bit perverse here. Just gotta believe that the solution will present itself. Okay. So we're going to need a notify. I'm okay with that. And I've got about 10 minutes before I got to get off, so I should get to a good stopping point here. It's going to need rand code. Why is that? Where is that else used? Anywhere else? Okay. Let's move this one out. Okay, so how is this going to go in here? So it's going to also need an HMAC secret. Oh. It's also going to need receipt byte count and receipt encoding. And a store. It's kind of the only thing that actually needs this, I think. So we might be able to simplify something else. Okay, right. There we go. Simple enough. ID byte count, ID encoding. Max age. What else? What's still missing here? Issuer. Auth param. This is starting to have too many options. Well, just like the other one does. Neither better nor worse in that regard. And then it can have an issuer. Okay, well, that's that. I wonder if any of these things have gone unused now. ID byte count. Yes, now I see. Much of this is necessary here. I wonder if we could just pass in challenge here. I'll just ignore that one for now. Okay, now would it be reasonable to get rid of those? How about max age? I don't think we're going to get rid of max age or max attempts. Although, we might. Let's see, and notify is not going to be necessary anymore, right? Not there. And receipt byte count, I imagine, would no longer be necessary there. Or receipt encoding, and I'm wondering, I guess store would still be necessary there. But we could move that out where store is used. I think it would make sense. Because basically what we're doing here is check status. This is essentially a get. So this is await challenge.get, essentially. I don't think there's any modification that needs to be made there for that to work. And then same thing with attempt counter. I think we could take this finalize verification and make basically a finalize function. Okay, but I don't have time to do all that right now. But I think that's what I'll do. I think I'm just going to factor this out. I'm going to take the inner bits, starting with what I've got. I'm going to pull more of it out. It's going to be a little bit messy while I do it. But I think that that's what's going to lead to having having this be kind of solving the square peg round hole problem, is just separating out the square bits from the round bits so that we've got our square peg functions and our round functions, and some of them call the others. I think that that is really what this comes down to. And I think it makes sense. And I think it's going to make the code easier to read overall, because there's going to be fewer bits. Let's see, attempt counter. Why is it taking rec and res? That's what I need to know. Why does it need rec there? For user agent? And why does it need res? For remote address. Okay. I don't know if I like that, but I can live with it for now. But I think this whole thing, let's see, what else goes in here? Finalize, attempt counter. I'm just going to take this piece out entirely. Let's go put that in challenge. And maybe I'll do challenge dot count attempt or something. What do we call this? A ticker, a touch, attempt. I'll just keep it the same name, attempt counter. And so where that's used, I'll just go put a challenge in front of it. Probably count attempt might be a better way to increment attempts, maybe. Okay. And then I don't think there's anything wrong with saying let attempts, oops. I could almost put this in its own file at this point, which is good. Yeah, this is starting to look a lot better. It's going to need a little bit of work, but it's good. Okay, well, it's time for me to go. So thanks for tuning in. Thumbs up if you got them, thumbs down if you don't, because every thumb helps. If you like what you like, you get more of what you like. And if you'd like to subscribe, make sure to hit the bell for personalized recommendations, or all of them, whatever you prefer. Also, for those of you that joined in and are interested in joining in on the Discord, I'm going to have that there. Here we go. Discord. There's the link. Discord. Boom. In the chat. And then what else? Anything else? Is there anything else? I think that's all the things. Check the doobly-doo for the who to follow and the whatchamajigs. And I will catch you later. All right. Adios.